Merry Happy New Year. Thank you very much for tuning in to the Mackham Football Show today. It is very early here in Perth. I'm joined by the lovely, I'm pointing in the wrong direction, Paul Wilson. How you doing, buddy? Been a long time.
Yeah, it's been a long time. I'm all right. Yourself?
I'm doing all right. Trying to make the Australian Mackham dream come true. You know how it is. um, for those of you that are tuning in after the fact, should I say, we are now back on the live streams after a couple of months, should we say now, of some dubious YouTube copyright stuff. So I'm happy that we are able to do these live with Q&As coming into the chat. We've had Jellybean pop by saying hello, which is nice. Already people popping in the chat. Where did we get up to last time we spoke? I know for yourself, Paul, it's been a hot minute just for like the football. So to do it a little bit more cleanly, I'm going to just do it from January 1st. We've already discussed the Sheffield United, the Portsmouth game, and the Burnley game here on the podcast, but I haven't had your opinions on them yet. So the 2-1 win against Sheffield United, the 1-0 win against Portsmouth, and the 0-0 draw against Burnley. What were your overall perceptions of those three games?
Those three games, I was actually happy with, and to be honest, with Portsmouth, I was actually on a Portsmouth station. One of their journalists actually messaged me for me to actually pop on, so I actually went on with Lee.
Nice.
So yeah,
nice.
I was actually talking to one of their journalists. I just said to him, good luck coming up here. And now that they are in discussions with one of our players now.
Who's that? Oh, them. Yeah, Tommy Watson.
Adil Sheesh is going to Portsmouth on loan.
Oh no, I don't know why, but I mixed up Brighton with Portsmouth there. Two blue teams on the south coast. Yeah, well, fair. I mean, it's interesting that we are starting to offload a couple of players in this January transfer window because a lot of our fan base have been discussing the gaps that we currently have. We will discuss that in depth because we are so close to the end of the deadline. But before we get on to that, Jacob, hello. How you doing, buddy?
Not bad, thanks. How are you both?
Not too bad, mate. Not too bad. So just so you're all aware, the other lads, I've said to them, I'll be on at 5:30, and they've said they'll be on at 9 p.m. your time. I thought that was the same time, but I think it's in an hour's time, isn't it? Something like that. So we might get the other lads join us in
5 minutes past.
Yeah,
5 minutes past 8. Yeah.
Yeah, so they might join us in about 50 minutes or so. They might trickle in. They might all join at the same time. We'll find out. But that's the the benefits of being live now, I guess. Yeah. So Jacob, like I've just asked Paul, it's been a while since we've caught up and had a couple of good chats around our games. I want to do it pretty much from the start of this year because, well, why not? It's a nice clean break, 2025. We've already discussed on this podcast the Sheffield United, the Portsmouth and the Burnley game, but what were your thoughts on them?
Burnley and Portsmouth. Portsmouth was quite a how do you say? I can't even think now. It's scrappy. That's the word. Quite a scrappy game, Portsmouth, and yeah, we managed to hold on, which is good. But I think we need to start not being so defensive when we're in a winning position because that can cost you. I think that's one of his problems, really, Reggie. I'm not going off on a rant about him, definitely not, because he's done wonders for the club. So, yeah, more or less. But yeah, now then on to Burnley, I'd say it was an that we missed 2 penalties, isn't it? Couldn't score 2 penalties. apart from
Yeah.
that, it's the point. It's kept us still in the race with Sheffield and Leeds, that game against Burnley. So we're not totally out of it, really, are we?
No, not at all. And I just want to build on that, mate. Like, obviously, the Wilson Isidore thing was, well, a bit gut wrenching, really. Stupid. It has to be said, it was stupid for him to go down the same side with the same amount of vigor. Like, he didn't, even if he goes in the same corner, just having the exact same soft style shot just proves that the goalkeeper had the taking of him in that Burnley game. But like you said, it's not points. It's not 3 points, but it's not nothing. We are undefeated since the start of the year, which is again fantastic. If you would have said to me after the Stoke game, you're getting 11 points out of 15 in January, you would have took it because that does keep you in contention and close to the top two of the automatics. What do you reckon to that?
Yeah, I'd have been if someone told that to me. I'd been fairly happy with that, you know. So yeah, we're not totally out of it, and yeah.
Same here, you know, especially after because first thing is, I actually watched Leeds' game actually against Burnley on Monday.
Yeah. Oh, that boring 0-0 draw.
Yeah, I was watching it with Michael. I was like, "Come on, Leeds, come on, man, just put one against Burnley."
Yeah. Mate, honestly, the first three games of this, I know, like I said, it's 11 points, we're undefeated, but it's still quite frustrating of how those games panned out. The Sheffield United game was probably one of the ones where I felt like it was a little bit more entertaining. It felt like two good sides coming up against each other. That's the only game I think probably, with the exception of the Plymouth Argyle game, that I would say is a proper game of football. The Portsmouth game, early goal from Isidore, and then it's for some reason Plymouth parking the bus to like not concede more, catch us on the counter. It's a known tactic that we've got to come up against. We've got to shoot against brick walls. Liam, welcome along. I will answer your question about Tommy Watson in just a second. The Burnley game, like you said, I think we should have won that one. It's two very key missed penalties, but also in open play, we were the better team after about minute 25. Burnley had the opening 25 minutes, 25 minutes. And then after that, we settled into the game. We looked like the home side for the entire second. It does show you where both clubs are potentially at, in my humble opinion. But yeah, before we move on to the Derby County and the Plymouth Argyle game, I will ask the question to you guys, and then I'll give my opinion, and then if you could chip in as well. What's your thoughts on Watson apparently going to Brighton? So with that, Tommy Watson is rumoured for a £2 million move with sell-on fees if he does kick on. I'm 100% behind it because, quite frankly, with the loanee of Lafay coming in with the option to buy if we do go up, it is going to be very difficult for him to break past Mundle and Lafay on the left-hand side if everybody's fit. So he is third string choice down that left-hand side. So I think it's probably the right thing for him. If he's going to be in the development squad for Brighton, even better, because the Brighton under-21s do get a lot of good game time. So yeah, I'm all for it. The value I think it might be generous at this stage, considering how many games he's played. But he does show a lot of promise and potential, so I understand the price tag from a Premier League club looking at him as well. Right, I'll open up the floor. And Acacia. All right, long time no see.
Okay, sure. To be honest with you, on Tommy Watson, I actually think the club might. I think the club actually might keep hold of him.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You know, fair enough. He's broke into the first team, but knowing Graham Murty, I think, because Tommy Watson's done well actually with the under 21s.
Mm-hmm.
I think Graham Murty will want to keep him at Sunderland.
Yeah, I agree. The under 21 side would be better with him in there. Same with Ogunsui, if I say his name right. But
That's correct, actually.
you've got an under 21 squad to break into the first team, and like I've just mentioned, he's already broken into the first team, and he has impressed us quite a bit. To be fair, he looks like a younger version of Jack Clark meets. I'd probably say a little bit like Pritchard, to be honest, but it's just an interesting move. I think if it happens, I'm not going to be overly upset. But there you go. Hanny, welcome along. Acacia says Tommy Watson won't go to Brighton at all. He doesn't want to go to a Premier League team. He wants to stay here at Sunderland. That's just wishful thinking. Everybody wants to be at a Premier League team. He's not going to come back.
Like I said to you, Jacob, Regis Le Bris said today, Tommy Watson's about 10 days away from returning to the first team. Well, returning to training.
Yeah, I heard that as well. So it's good that the players that are injured are on the way back now. You know, it's progress.
Yeah. So what's your opinion on Tommy Watson getting sold, Jacob?
I mean, it's just rumours, isn't it? You know, don't believe it until you see it on Sky News of him holding the blue and white Brighton scarf. So
Scarf
it could
holder.
all just be it could all just be Chinese whispers. So let's not dive into deep end.
Liam does bring up a good point on it, though. He says, I wouldn't mind loaning him out, but my opinion, we shouldn't sell him. We wouldn't sell him. Do you think a loan's probably the right option for him?
That about Watson laws came from a really top one that's you know, it actually came from Fabrizio Romano on Twitter. So half the stuff he puts out, I do actually believe.
He does put caveats on there most of the time. Hanny, welcome along, and Jellybean, welcome as well. Something about being late. Is Mundle Inno? Who's Inno? Is Mundle back? Mundelino. Okay, got you. He's trying to make him sound like. God, it's too early for wordplay, Jellybean, mate. Look, it's bloody 5:45 in the morning.
Mundle's back in training next week.
Okay, he's had a nice little holiday.
But what I like about it, though, Alan Brown is in non-contact training at the moment.
Yeah, I see. Our current squad is a very interesting little dynamic, and I know we've kind of half skated over it a little bit, but Adil O'Sheesh looks like he's already out the door. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much of a loss is that for our squad?
To be honest, I think we've just sent the Sheesh out to get game time.
Yeah.
There's another one that's moving out permanent, actually, and that's Joe Anderson.
That makes sense. Again, same with the Watson story there. Kish is confirming he's not back until next week around Mundle. He's back next week. He'll be ready for the Watford game at home. So, Jacob, Adil O'Sheesh on a scale of 1 to 10, what are you thinking? How much is that going to impact
as a player for us?
Yeah.
Overall, how he was for us.
What 1 being not at all, a 10 being we're gonna cry, all the way down to St James's Park. That. How much of a loss is he for our squad?
I think in the middle, not massive loss, but it's not like, oh, thank God he's gone, or you know, I'd say in the middle, maybe like a 6 or a 5.
Okay. You didn't give me a number, Paul, but
I'll give him a 6.
Jellybean saying, has Adele left? It's highly likely he's getting perma-sold. And I'm going to say a 2 or a 3. Yes, he's had a couple of good moments, but for me, he hasn't had the impact we expected him to have when he came into the squad. And again, it's about being where you are in that string of players. If Regis Le Bris is, we've got a bit of an injury crisis and a little bit of rotation in that middle of the park where Deloshish plays, and yet he still rarely puts him on the bench. You've got Brown out injured, and you've got so many other options that are match fit, hungry, and preferential. You've got Job. Basically, it's going to be Dan Neil, Job, Rig, and Brown. That's our top 4 centre 3/4. And Deloshish does break into it, like you said, just for a couple of game minutes. Makamula, why are you tagging on Makamula in Acacia? There you go. Yeah, Liam said it perfectly there as well. I think he's a good player, but just doesn't fit our play style or the team. And you can kind of tell it quite early on. Yeah.
But it wasn't his when you said Adil's permanent. He's not. He's just going out on loan.
Yeah. No, he's going out on permanent, mate. So it's a very much like what's it called?
He's just on loan.
So it's Deloshis's loan is going to be exactly like Nectarius Triantis's. He's going to permanently be.
We can't recall Triantis.
I know. That's what I'm saying. It'll be the same situation with Adil. He is going out on loan for the option to buy at the end of the season. It's pretty much gone.
I think it's just straight loan. I think.
Well, time will tell, but I'm not sure he'll come back. We've got a couple of messages to catch up on. Acacia's brought in a very contentious message that we haven't discussed yet here on the podcast at all. One, because I'm a little bit salty and sore about it, but also we picked up 3 points that didn't really matter too much. When was that? Was it the Plymouth or Portsmouth game? She said no, it was onside for the Plymouth goal. Did we go in the net? Or was it over the line? I'm confused because the goal I was thinking about was against Portsmouth.
That Plymouth goal.
So, do you know when we beat Portsmouth 1-0 and we second half we do a long ball for some reason was it Plymouth or Portsmouth? The ball goes long. Isidore breaks from it, probably about the halfway line through to the edge of the box, and then gets it around the keeper. But then it's given as offside, and it was clearly onside.
Oh, I think that was Portsmouth. Yeah.
No, it was Portsmouth, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So
scrappy game that it would just. Just see games out more this season. Like if we're winning 2-0, go for the third. Or if we're winning 3-0, just go for another. See the game out.
Yeah. Okay.
Don't think it shouldn't be difficult to see a game out.
Liam's confirming Portsmouth. I mean, we did see the game out, mate. That's not the point. But we shouldn't be. Well, we shouldn't be having the squeaky bum time because the referee is trying to take control of the game. Like, it pissed me off to the point where you just see week in, week out, even though, like I said, we've picked up 11 points since the start of January, we've just got to constantly talk about how poor the quality of the referees are in these games. That offside decision which was given, which shouldn't have been, absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, how do you come up against two? To be fair, wasn't it given by the fourth official rather than the lino and the referee?
The Portsmouth offside goal.
Yeah.
Don't know. Of course, Derby was different, wasn't it? Derby was the ref, wasn't it? Because all players surrounded the Derby. The referee was surrounded by Derby County players, and they were all claiming, "Oh, handball."
Derby was the fourth official.
Yeah.
Well, Derby were fourth official. I thought it were Ray.
Yeah, I was the fourth official. He was who's monitor.
Do you know what I'm going to say? I'm going to say something which I guess is not that controversial anymore. VAR needs to be across the entire EFL, just for that level of consistency. We can't have Premier League referees dropping down, and basically they haven't lived without that in the game for a couple of years now, and they're heavily reliant on it. So when their mistakes happen, which they happen quite frequently, we need some kind of repercussion for it. If we have some kind of fining system or a referee rating system as well, because again, it does impact where people are. It affects how much money gets invested into towns and cities. It has a huge impact on local communities. Could you imagine? I know Luton's a relatively small town around the edge of London, but could you imagine if Luton Town was say, let's pick a random team. That's a random town. Let's say that was Rochdale. Rochdale all of a sudden climb up to the Premier League, but 2 VAR decisions makes them drop out into the playoffs, and they don't get that massive new stadium. They don't get any kind of publicity of who they are and where they're at. £300 million is a lot of money for a team, for an area, and I don't know. I think there's more impact just than it's just a game of football that needs to be considered there. So, what a sub tangent, but referees need to be reprimanded a little bit more, a lot more than what they are at the moment. Yeah. If you have anything to add, I'm going to quickly catch up on the messages in the chat as well. No?
Not really.
No? Good. Makamula's here. Welcome along, mate. Watch the lead up to it. Cross came in. Portsmouth player headed it in, but another player was ahead of him. It rebounded off Hume to the player who crossed it and went in off Patson. So I think we're talking about.
Is it the first Plymouth goal?
I think we're talking about the Plymouth 2-2 goal, 2-2 game. We'll before we jump into that game, we'll how do I put it? We'll go into the Derby County game first because we haven't really discussed that at all. Another clean-ish 1-0 win. Who was the goal scorer in that again?
Was it Mayenda? I think it was Mayenda, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, it was.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
I didn't realise
because Isidore scored against Plymouth.
I didn't realise
Isidore scored against Plymouth.
His full name is Eliza Mienda Dosu. I didn't know that. Thank you, Stan. No, that makes a difference to us, but yeah. Again, Derby County, a team that you've got to suffer against. We had Park the Bus to come up against for a lot of the game. Eliza Mienda's pass. Who passed it into him? Was it Job who broke through? I need to see the goals. I've slept since here. I can't remember, but God, sorry, it is stupid o'clock in the morning. I need to wake up properly. I just think with the Derby County match, we were the better side. You've got, I can't even remember a time when they had a good, consistent attack. I think they counterattacked twice in the first half and 3 times in the second, but it was really well contained. I remember Trey Hume having a really good, solid game down that right-hand flank. I just don't think it was it wasn't a pretty game, but it was, I guess we'd done enough. What do you add to that? There wasn't really that many referee controversies in it either. I think the biggest news off that, or the biggest hype into the game, was what Isidore was going to do, because Isidore came into that game with on the back of those 2 penalty misses, and he was looking at rectifying it. And again, I think he had a pretty good game, but didn't put the ball in the back of the net. He put it over a couple of times. Yeah. Any thoughts on the Derby game, lads?
Not massively much into the. There was not a lot in the game really. Quite another scrappy game. It sort of were a bit like Portsmouth, weren't it? Portsmouth at home. The Derby were on the counter at one bit. They were trying to get rescue a point, weren't they? But luckily we managed to not let that happen. So, but that's another example as well, isn't it? It's like I feel like if we just go 1-0 up, the Summit players go, "Oh, we're winning,"
Yeah.
and that's dangerous. I think we need to be going at it more.
Bit more ruthless.
But it's the 3 points, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's
the 3 points that mattered. We got the 3 points.
Yeah. Paul?
The fourth official actually could have cost us.
In what regard?
Lucky enough that offside goal didn't cost us, but it could have. Because
that was it. Yeah, that was
technically
the offside.
It could still cost us goal difference wise, couldn't it?
I think
because the goal difference between
we're only really competing with
Leeds. Leeds have got it.
on goal difference.
Not Leeds.
Yeah, Burnley on goal difference. So Burnley are very close to us where we are on goal difference. The other two teams are like 12 goals ahead. So
they're up, aren't they? Anfield, Leeds and Sheffield. They've won it already. Well, Leeds have won the league already.
I don't agree with that at all, mate. Like, I'll move on to it very quickly now. There's 16 games to go. No, there's 17 games to go, which is 54 points available for all squads. To say we're going to get 54 is an absolute ludicrous pipe dream, but still a pipe dream. Let's aim for it.
I would love to get that many points, but I can't see it.
I think there's more chance of Newcastle winning the Carabao Cup than that happening.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, let's see what happens. I don't want to jinx it, so let's just hope they don't. The Portsmouth game. What was it? The Portsmouth game, the Plymouth game. They took the lead. That kicked us into gear. We then get 2 very quick fire goals off the back of that. So, again, it was one of those games where we have a very slow half. The previous 4 games in this January were all the second halves were pretty much absolute dross, dull affairs. But the first half of that Plymouth game, we were the top team, we were the better team, but we were, again, just hitting that brick wall. We need to figure out more ways to invite them further up the pitch to create those gaps. If we are constantly getting the park of the bus, or whatever they call it now, ultra defensive tactics that teams come against us, when we've got 8-9 players in their box to defend against, we are going to struggle. It's very tight margins, we know the story already. But when they took the lead, that for some reason, rather than continuing what they've done, they get the confidence to push higher up the pitch. So it was kind of their own downfall that they scored, and we came back into it because they were overly confident that, well, we've scored a goal, we might as well go and score a second. And that's where I think the maturity of Regis Le Bris comes into it versus the likes of a new Plymouth manager. You've got somebody who knows if you've got a lead, try and get more goals, but ultimately defensively is what matters at that point. Sadly, when we took the lead 2-1, what time was the goal?
Me actually during the game because I was actually shouting at Regis. When we went 1-0 down, I was like, "Come on, Regis! Make us sub. Why are you waiting?"
Yeah.
He actually listened. He must have heard
I
us.
mean, anybody with eyes could have seen that a substitute was needed in that game. Yeah, and again, what was it? What minute did we concede in that? 92, 93? Something like that?
Tell you what, a lot of people around me did actually kick off when he went. He actually sat back.
Yeah. Right. I'm going to also call out. Liam said we only missed out on getting VAR by 2 years. So we went out of League One when the VAR was introduced. Then Acacia's, I've got a lot of Acacia messages to catch up on. Thank you. Away at Derby, we should have won that 2-0. I think anybody would agree with that. The offside was not offside. It was just a poor call. Again, VAR in the AFL would remedy that. So I think we're all kind of on the same wavelength. And then, as apparently Wilson got hold of the Derby player in the penalty area of the box, Wilson went on to score the goal. I think that's a load of BS excuses. It's retrospectively micro analysing something to fit the narrative. If you're just looking at it from a neutral football perspective, everything in that goal should have stood. If it was a different team, if it was a different referee, all of that, 95, 96%, just most of the time, it would be given as a goal. For some reason, it just seems to not happen for us. So I have a bit.
Sky actually was the one that was commentating for the game for Sky.
Mm-hmm.
He was actually complaining. He was actually keep saying that the referee should give the goal. Thing is, I actually former referee I spoke to on Twitter actually, Keith Hackett I spoke to.
Yeah.
He actually reckons that the referee done a mistake as well.
And again, what is the? You can hold your hand up and say, yes, I made a mistake, but what is the recompense and what is the reimbursement of those mistakes? There isn't any.
There's not.
There's not a thing that
sadly we can't put a complaint in. I wish we could, but we cannot.
I don't know why we can't, because I know the only thing we can challenge a referee's decision on is a straight red card. That to me is bullshit as well. Any red card where a player serves a suspension should be able to be challenged. The absolute easiest example to give is Dan Neil last season against Middlesbrough. The amount of times I've heard players just absolutely give the referee a load of shit, and he gets a second yellow for that. I know it's hopping on, but it's a little bit of a bitter wound in the background of just going, what are we witnessing with these referees and these officials? It just seems to be a lot of prejudice, and I know it's not just us. There is other teams around the league that do see this inconsistent crap week in, week out. So, how do we fix it, boys? How do we fix it? Or how do we suggest we fix it? Because it's not up to us.
It's just a shame that we can't interview the referees, after the game.
Do you think that would work?
I think we could, but
yeah, I actually think that's not a bad idea, because I think a lot of referees like the spotlight a bit, and if they guarantee the spotlight at the end of the game, regardless of the result, that might take them away from making terrible decisions and getting flogged for making a stupid decision, regardless of which team it's for. So I actually kind of like that idea. A guaranteed media interview from the referee at the end of every game is not a too difficult thing, because every game is broadcast across the top 4 leagues in one way, shape, or the other. It'll either be on local radio or local newspapers or what have you. So, good suggestion, Jacob. What do you think? How do we fix the problem like PGMOL.
So, sorry, what was that again? I think I was just replying back to a text.
Oh, no worries. Right, I'm gonna call out Acacia's message there because it's another example of it. The
Is it about referees?
Yeah, it's about referees. The Trafford keeper against Burnley when he was time wasting like mad was again something that.
Oh yeah, he said his shoelaces were untied. Oh, well, it's bollocks. Honestly,
he untied them specifically for that. It should have been time wasting, second yellow, time wasting yellow, time wasting second yellow. Get a new keeper on.
If that were Anthony Patterson, straight red, because he's a Sunderland player. Oh, send him off. But oh no, if he's a Burnley player, they were in the Prem. He can get away with it. Fucking ridiculous.
Agreed.
Burnley are not a bigger club than Sunderland. Sunderland are bigger than Burnley. I don't care what anyone says. We're a bigger club than Burnley.
I mean, I think it's irrespective to this point, but yeah. Hello, Andrew.
Hey.
How you going?
Well, it's a bit of a ropey voice, to be honest, mate. I'm coming off the back of like a week-long illness, so you're not looking too great, not feeling too great. Don't worry, I'm going to switch my camera on in a minute. I'm just preparing. I didn't realise we were on so early, to be honest. I thought it was 9 o'clock.
It was, so that again, I've flagged it at the start of the podcast. I said 5:30. You said 9 o'clock. I went, yeah, that's okay. I didn't realise 5:30 is actually 8 p.m. So it's on me. But I put the live before I went to sleep, so I thought I was here. Yeah.
Well, okay. No worries. Took me a few minutes to get myself set up, and I'll be ready.
No worries. So, how much investment do you think it would take to get a VAR system across the rest of the Championship at the very least? As I'm looking at the Championship teams, since it's Blackburn's just scored. Gahey just scored, which is
Now when you said that.
There you go. I'll just show it for you guys. I think I have to turn it off very, very quickly. So 3, 2, 1. I don't want to get done for copyright again. Not a chance. So yeah, Gahey. Does that Blackburn game actually impact us at all? I don't think it will for another couple of weeks. It just means they're close to getting into the playoffs, right?
They're on 45 points. We're on 55. We're on 55 points. Blackburn are currently on 45.
Yes.
So they're just below us, but I can't say. Well, no, because they could catch up to us, but
yeah, they were seventh. They were seventh before the game, so they are on the fringe of the playoffs. So it might impact us longer term. Just to keep an eye on Blackburn.
Hello, have I missed?
Hello.
Have you started?
I have started, mate. Don't worry, it's on me. It's on me. So, like I just said to Sandy, I said to you 5:30. You said 9 o'clock. That turns out it was 5:30 here is 8 o'clock. So I just started at 5:30, and yeah, it's all good.
So you've been going for 40 minutes?
Pretty much. We've got the lovely Paula Jacob here helping us along, having a good healthy discussion. We've gone through a nice little plan or a nice little flow of the games. So I can't remember which game we started off or the last time we did a podcast, but
I'll tell you the last time we did a podcast, mate. It was fucking ages ago. It was when Stace was on. Well, that was the last time I did a podcast. I might have missed one in between.
Yeah, it might be that one because I basically went through the Sheffield United game again, the Portsmouth game, the Burnley, the Derby County, and we were teetering. We're teetering around the Plymouth game as well. So
good, because that's the only one I can fucking remember.
I had that issue as well, mate. I had that issue. I was like, What happened? I was it the Portsmouth game or the Derby County game? I think we've already had the answer in the chat as well, where the offside decision shouldn't have been given as offside.
That was Derby.
Yeah. Okay. So apparently that's why Derby offside was. That's why it was the offside for the goal at Derby. So yeah, that's where That's why you joined in. How do we fix that kind of bullshit with the referees?
VAR.
The only way you can do it is with VAR, but I'm not a big fan of how VAR is implemented in the Premier League. So I think if you were going to do it, you'd have to switch it up how it's currently done.
Well, you've got to do it with economies of scale, though, as well, haven't you? So with the lower league teams, they will need to have it, but they'll not be able to have the funds to pay for that extra official.
So, yeah, for one of like, do you need an extra official? I'm not sure, but one of the reasons why it wasn't rolled out, through the entire pyramid is that you got your Forest Green Rovers, and like the teams who are like really struggling to like pull the dollar in will have to pay to do this. Now, my opinion is the Premier League makes enough money to filter that money down. So, come on, you just signed a brand new deal for however many millions of pounds with Sky. Now they've got the old Sky Sports Plus, whatever it is, so they're earning even more money, right?
There is a pot of money there for it, yeah. So
surely that money can be cascaded down the pyramid to all of the 96 teams, not just the top 20, right?
Well, again, they've also got stadiums with what's it called? We've got stadiums with the goal line technology. Stadium Light's a good example. Goal line technology is installed. That's how the second Plymouth goal was given.
The first one, right?
Yeah, it might have been the first one.
No, the second one was a half volley smashed in, like top corner, mate. That was definitely over the line. It was the first one that was.
It's 6 o'clock in the morning. Give me a little bit.
I don't know, man. I'll let you off.
Yeah, but like you said, I think there's an easy pot of money to take from that the Premier League have already invested, and that is the Parachute Payment Fund. Parachute Payment Fund is for teams outside of the top flight, so there is a pot of money that they literally give to the lower leagues already. If they're going to do an incremental increase, why don't you just take that incremental increase and take it to the VAR systems, and then all they have to do after it's done once is every time teams get promoted, install it.
Here's what they do, right? Here's what they do, right? You pick one season, let's say next season. Okay, from next season, VAR's in the Championship. So you've got your off season. Here's a pot of money.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to do from next season, the Championship has VAR. The following season, okay, now it's League One. The following season, now it's League Two. You probably stop there. You probably don't go any lower than that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The full EFL.
Yeah, you go all the way from the top to the bottom of the AFL, installing VAR as you go. Now, what that means for like Stockley Park or whatever, it probably can't all go to Stockley Park. There's probably too many games for that. So you're gonna have to like start to think about, okay, now it's not just the one VAR hub. You're gonna have like another one and another one. You can roll it out over a number of seasons. Like, I'm not saying you have to make all these changes all at once, but the only way to get rid of these nonsense decisions is doing exactly that.
There is another.
Well, like I said, what I preface this all with is I'm not the biggest fan of VAR as it is. So like, there's still some shit iron out there, but
yeah,
obvious decisions like the offside one we shouldn't have to be discussing them.
No, you're right. But what I'd say is, I don't think the is it the PGMOL or whatever it is.
It's the referee.
I don't think it's big enough. I don't think it's big enough, and I don't think they've got enough staff. So to do all that, you don't want officiating like as it goes down the league, and even in our league, there's a vast difference. So that needs investment before we invest in VAR.
I would agree. I think you need the staff to do it. This is why I'm saying you can't just do it all at once. You can't just say, all right, from next season, everyone's got VAR. It has to be sort of like drip fed over a course of years. You're talking 3 years, aren't you?
Mm. Well,
maybe longer.
You could do Championship first, and then again, you've got, like I said, you've got a lot of ex-Premier League teams with VAR in the stadium. Luton Town have VAR. And next season, they might have VAR in League One by this stage.
Yeah, so this, I think the thing is, the Championship's such a big league, it's such an important league, especially when you're at the top end of it. You know, the difference between finishing the automatics and playoffs and then not getting promoted is literally tens of millions of pounds, right? So to the clubs, so you have to implement something that will take all this nonsense out. There's no way to get around it.
I was literally saying that, and I give the example. Imagine if Luton Town was all of a sudden Rochdale, and Rochdale somehow had a miracle season when they've been in the Premier League. That is millions and millions of pounds that's getting invested in that area. A lot of spotlight, a lot of who are they, kind of thing, and you're missing out on it because your
ref made a dodgy decision or your linesman made a dodgy decision. That's right.
Yeah, and it cascades down. So there needs to be some repercussions.
They're not professional enough.
Great point. Paul's suggestion was, though, without VAR, get them to interview at the end of every game, regardless of which one.
Paul, I wholeheartedly... Good to see you, by the way, Paul. I don't think we've chatted for a while. Good to see you, mate.
Yeah, it's good to see you as well, mate.
I wholeheartedly agree. Smithy, if you scroll up the group chat, lad, you'll see me screaming for this. Like, the only way, if you're not going to implement VAR, and even if you do implement VAR, I think I'd still like to see it, is like if you got a contentious decision, like something that is either obviously wrong or like nobody understands, like that offside, right? The only way you're going to get, you're going to move the conversation on is if the referee stands in front of a camera and says, "This is what happened. I got a word in my ear from my linesman. I thought this. We talked about that."
No, it wasn't from the linesman. It was from the fourth official.
It's just a general example, okay? Or the fourth official, whatever it is, okay? So he talks through the process. You know, I don't know whether you saw in the, I can't remember what cup game it was. What do you remember in the cup? They got the referee to announce the decision, the VAR decision. You know, like they do in the NFL. Right. I can't remember what game it was, but it was in the early stage of the FA Cup. So he says, "Oh, VAR has determined that it was a handball, blah 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 blah, whatever." Right? I'm not saying you need to do that during the game because that stops the flow of the game. But if you take that, shift it to the end of the game, and have a referee stand in front of a camera, I think it removes a lot of confusion, and also the ref might think twice before he makes a fucking stupid decision.
But even on that decision, afterwards it was reviewed. Well, Wilson went up to the ref and went, "Why was it disallowed?" They said offside. Yeah. Then it got reviewed on Sky Sports, and the broker who reviewed it said it was offside. And I was like, "What planet are these?" Basically, what's happening is it was such a diabolical decision that they've had no choice but to try and justify it when we all know it was onside. Now, I know if you look at it, you see the camera angle and you can, when he's miles on, but they were like saying, well, just before the ball was played by Joe, he was offside. Mm-hmm. Even if Wilson was offside, I can't, because I haven't seen the whole footage, Lafay wasn't offside. I mean, that's where the ball went. So I think the whole situation, wasn't dealt with well afterwards. It was like it was weirdly brushed under the carpet. Like, let's forget about that.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be a
different move on. There's been no.
It would have been a different story, though, wouldn't it? If we didn't get the 3 points from that game, it'd be a completely different story.
There'd been on, but there's been no repercussions for the ref. It's been like, oh, we'll just forget about that because it's the one, like you say. So, and that's what's down to professionalism. I still think that all right, it's a hard enough job, but I still don't think they're professional enough. I don't think they get paid enough. You know what I mean? I don't think there's much investment in that. No one wants to be a referee. Let's be honest. And that's
You're right. Nobody wants to be a referee. So I knew a guy in college. He was a referee on a weekend, right? And he was like, literally, all he does is turn up on a Sunday or a Saturday, get abused for you did a couple of games a day, get abused for all of his Saturday, all of his Sunday, and go home. And he was on a tenner an hour or something. Do you know what I mean? Like a pittance. Nobody wants to do that.
That's ingrained in our culture. Like the way we treat refs from. Yeah, when you play from a boy, Sunday league, when you school, watching the match, people abusing the ref when you're a kid, and you watch them abuse the ref, and you think, well, this is normal. So, it's not like rugby at all, where the decision's final and no one, that's it. Although I think it's creeping a little bit now, the referees, but they don't take any shit, do they? They're like, right, you're off. So I think we've got a long way to go, but investment into refereeing is, if you want it to be a better standard, it needs investment.
I think there's one more point I'd like to make on this, in terms of like refereeing in general, dodgy decisions. I think what would be nice to implement is something like, when you get in the rugby, you can hear the ref, he's talking to the players, like a mic'd up referee, right? Okay. I'm not saying you need to broadcast that during the game, but like to have that audio available, for whatever contentious decision, and then maybe Sky could go, dude, or whoever's doing the game could, like, in the summary little, the bit they do after where they like break down the game or whatever, they could just be like, oh, in this decision, this is what the referee said, and they just pull the audio out, or they put it on the screen.
Yeah, like they do with Formula One. They can do with the team casts.
Okay, I don't watch the Formula One.
But literally, the
similar, right?
Like the drivers are literally on the track, driving around, having comms with purely just the team in the garage, and you'll just hear the conversation like, let this player, let this teammate pass, block them down, slow them down. Like they do the tactics over there, and they just broadcast them. So this is like Regis Le Bris getting him mic'd up as well. So you can kind of police and regulate the managers. You can regulate the fourth officials. I think having players with mics is a bit too much, but
I'm not saying that, but they be picked up on the other mics, right? So that's just another example of how we can move forward here, be a bit progressive, because I think we're a little bit stuck. VAR hasn't been the solution that I think everyone hoped it would be, so we've got to try and look at alternatives.
I think it's the promise of fairness. That's the issue, and like I said before you two goes on, it is purely around being able to go this game against Blackburn and Preston North End, having the confidence that the right result happened because the match official didn't want to take the spotlight at some stage. So if Blackburn end up in the playoffs or Preston end up getting sucked into the relegation zone, it's the right thing for their quality and their level. If it's week in, week out, like referees just giving a team a penalty here and there and calling offsides that were never there. It's like Alan said as well, it's poorly regulated. And I did mention it again just before you both came on, with the only way we can challenge referees officially with the FA, the PGMOL, the FA, the EFL, and the Premier League. There's too many governing bodies, by the way. Is when a player gets a direct straight red card. Why can't we? Why can't we do it when there's a suspension there, or when there's an injury call? So let's say a player gets injured off the back of a tackle, no yellow card was given. Why can't that be reviewed for a suspension? Why can't
you could do
to the other end? Like it's so.
I'm all for it.
It's just.
I'll tell you why they don't want to implement that, because one, you'll see a massive uptick in diving. People claim that they're injured at all times just so they can then review it thereafter.
Well, and also
two,
that player can get yellow carded after the fact for simulation. So
they tried. Do you remember they tried to implement this? Remember, where like you could be booked after the game if you were deemed to have took a dive. That lasted for about 10 games before there was hell on and it was removed.
Well,
I tell you what I do want to see. I tell you what I do want to see is time wasting. The old the keeper's got a fucking knot in his sock. He's had to go down. That needs to stop, because two reasons. Obviously slows momentum down on the team who's got momentum. And secondly, you can get coached, the run over and get coached. Like, that rule needs to be snuffed out, because for me, it spoils the game. Time wasting, they've brought in, we're going to yellow card you, but it's the going down and fearing an injury, which winds me up. And there's got to be some sort of way we can get that out of the game, because you know what's like when you've seen it a few times where we've been home and we've been on top, and then someone goes down, you're like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? So I don't know how they're going to get round it, but for me, I want that to go.
I 100% agree, mate. Like, sadly, it is a part of modern football, and there's two players I blame for it. In England, it's Raheem Sterling. Internationally, it's Neymar.
No. Before it was Raheem Sterling, it was Ronaldo. Ronaldo at Man United was a fucking fiend for it.
And Diego Costa.
Yeah, but he was a big lad, wasn't he?
Yeah,
I'm telling you, you go
like
back
a sack of spuds.
Go back and watch Ronaldo. I'm telling you, whenever he got touched, mate, he went down like a fucking sack of titties. He dove left, right, and centre, man. He was the one who really knew how to abuse the system.
Yeah, well, it's tactic. I think Ferguson brought it in, didn't he? With stopping time and coaching me. I just want that to stop because I feel like you do your coaching before the match and at half time, and that's it. Maybe you'll be from the sideline. You can't just stop the game. You know what I mean? I feel like it's a bit unsportsmanlike.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, especially when you're on top, it winds me up.
Rooney as well, like that in Prem as well. Did Rooney sometimes go down like?
I think they were all. I think they were all like that at Man United.
Ferguson loved it. Did it all the time.
Yeah. The first one, the big one I remember is Ronaldo. Like he abused it every single week.
Here's a bit more of a question then. Can you recall any Sunderland player that's like that?
What, diving?
That is a good question.
Because I don't think it's part of our culture.
I don't.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
I don't think it is a part of our culture. I think was savvy enough to be like, no, this guy's taking the piss. But maybe I've got the rose tinted glasses on. I don't know.
No, well, I've seen Roberts do it, and I've seen Ahmad do it recently. They have done it, like not fearing injury, but diving. I don't think it's prevalent. You know what I mean? I think it's now and then. It's not like, endemic in the team. It's just, I think it's just their sort of era and culture about trying to win a free kick or a pen. Well, and let's be honest, if they're in the box and they get touched, it's subjective, isn't it?
I think if you're in the box and you get touched, everyone's going down, and we're all probably shouting when they gone down. Because I've seen someone, and it might have been Ahmad actually.
Wilson.
Like it might have been, I can't remember. No, it was a couple of years back, so it might have been Ahmad. Who dribbled into the box. Someone came to slide him, took him out. In my opinion, a clear fucking penalty. But then the guy got back up and tried to score and missed. And I thought to myself, if the man just stayed down, rolled a few times, started clutching his leg, probably would have got a pen there. So, you know what I mean? Like it's almost like you're penalised for trying to stay on your feet.
Yeah, I don't think I don't think that's gonna go out the game. You know what I mean? If trying to one-upmanship in the game, but it's just it's the stoppage of the whole game, and the referees at the minute, it seems to be all about them. You know what I mean? I'm in charge. Don't do this. Don't, you know what I mean? It's like there's no flow. I mean, the majority of games are not that bad, but you know what's when you get a referee who's like, "Fucking why is this all about him? It's not about him. Just have a quick word and let's move on. I don't care about you, mate. Just do your job." You know, I don't think they help, and that goes back. It goes circles back to professionalism.
Yeah. I mean, I think you perfectly right there, mate. Like, it's too frequent. It's too often, and I don't think it's new. It's just how do you?
I tell you who was the one for that, and the first referee who I remember who made it all about him always. Fucking Mark Clattenburg. I'll tell you, when he never used to ref us, did he? Because he was a mag. But if you watch his other games, the game was always about Mr. Clattenburg and nobody else.
I think that's the same with I don't know if you remember him, but Mike Dean.
I do remember Mike Dean. Yeah, he was an absolute fiend for it as well. You're right. He got promoted, mate. Isn't he like the top gaffer of referees? Mike Dean. Isn't he like head of the PGML or something like that?
No idea.
Tell you what, though, one of the best referees in the Prem back in there, I think Howard Webb. I think Howard Webb was a good referee.
What? 3 yellow cards, Howard Webb?
Yeah, he was all right. Yeah, he's a boring bastard, but he was all right.
Alright.
Martin Atkinson as well. Martin Atkinson's a good ref. But I think he's retired now. But he was one of the good refs in Prem as well, Atkinson.
Just to circle back to Mike Dean, he's currently in charge of VAR. So there you go. That's why it's in the fucking toilet.
He is for Sky.
I wonder if anyone's ever done a referee top at like 11.
HIT7.
This is good. Mate, this is good content for the off season, lad. We're going to start thinking about what to talk about this summer.
A referee 11.
Referee 11. There you go. Yeah.
Best
referee
decisions this season.
Pierre Luigi Khalil will be in there for sure.
The bald geezer. Who's the bald geezer?
That's him. He'll be up top for me, mate.
Was he the one that was
eyes.
on Pez? He was on Pro More, wasn't he, on the cover?
He was on the front cover. Yeah, that's him.
Right. Let's stop talking about referees because they're starting to piss me off now.
We're going to talk about Plymouth.
Before we talk about Plymouth, I want to quickly call out the loan announcement of Adil Ashish going to Portsmouth has been announced since we've gone live. This was about 20-25 minutes ago now. So Adil Ashish is no longer in our squad for the rest of the season. So
4 minutes ago, mate, we're on the pulse here. I mean, I did hear about it earlier on the daylight, but
they've waited for you to go live, and
that's it. No.
I feel like Ashish, for all I give him a little bit of stick last season, I thought this season he's actually done all right. You know, that there's been times where I've looked at him and he's not too bad. I've seen worse. I just feel like his end product weren't amazing. Do you know what I mean? Work rate, he's got good feet, but overall, like, I wouldn't say a flat to the sea. I just think we've got better options.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think he's a good player. He's probably going to do well at Portsmouth. To be honest, he's probably a step up from what they've got. I can't see him as more than a squad player for us, and our squad is currently growing. Yeah. So it's where he fits in that. I think he's a good player. Like, don't get me wrong. I think I'd like to see. I would have preferred to see him stay. But okay, he's going to Portsmouth. I hope he does well there.
Low much,
just not against us.
But he doesn't play us again, does he? We don't play Portsmouth again.
Done shot watch now, mate.
We beat Portsmouth at the start of the month, so we don't have to play them again.
Okay, well,
he might do us favours at another club. That's how it is. You've got
beat Burnley.
Again, this is one of the players that we mentioned before the stream. Paul gave a score of 6, right? And Jacob gave a score of 6. I give a score of 3. And the question was, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you think he will impact, like his leaving will impact our squad? 1 being
not a great deal.
Yeah, 1 being nothing, and 10 being
not a great deal. I feel like he's flipped. Probably with like the incomings during the January transfer window, he's probably either going to find it like he's kind of on the borderline of being on the bench. Do you know what I mean? Which is probably why he's been farmed out. He probably deserves the playing time. So in that respect, probably not a big impact.
Yeah, not for me. Like, don't think he'd be missed. However, good luck to him, but I don't think he'll be missed.
And that's it. That's pretty much what I was saying. Because isn't he more of a left winger? Or is he more of an attacking central midfielder?
I just feel like he's more of a midfielder. I don't think he's a winger.
Yeah. Like, I don't think he was ever quick enough to be on the wing, was he? But he did get played there.
But that's when we look at how we play, and I think we keep reverting back to Clark and Roberts. Do you know what I mean? we've had people, we've had Rig out there, we've had Ashish out there. Lafay's not a winger really, and he's out there. So I feel like it's not. I think when we say winger, I'd say just the left-hand side or right-hand side of midfield, because, they're not out-and-out wingers, really, are they? Let's be honest.
No, they're not. We've just had a message from the mighty Bong. Haway, how's Ecuador doing?
But I don't know.
I don't know. I've already done my spotlight on Ecuador for the season, mate. We'll revisit it at the end. I'm sure he's doing great. I'm sure he scored a hat-trick last week.
Yeah, he did.
Again, no ill will to him. Donny Davey, who doesn't like him, I thought he was all right. Same again.
Ecuador. Oh yeah, Saint Etienne's just mid-table, aren't they? Is my picture back to front? Probably left, right. Doesn't matter. Plymouth game.
Ecuador's last game was a 1-1 draw.
No.
Cool.
There you go. I'm going to turn off this fan. So if you just want to start ranting about the Plymouth game, I'll.
I'll rant about.
He had one shot off target. There you go, Bong.
Right.
Plymouth game. All right then.
Paul,
first, go on. I feel like I've done a lot of talking.
I feel like I want to download for Plymouth and I'm not shut up.
Yeah.
I'll go first, right? Listen.
All right, okay, here we go.
Pin your ears back. Because
I'm listening, I'm ready.
I feel like the whole team didn't turn up to start with, right? So I feel like I'm not saying there was a bit of sort of blasé attitude, but I just don't think the majority of them turned up. That's number one.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, Pato, his distribution a couple of times was poor. Obviously, he got credited for the own goal. You could argue that he could have stayed on his line. He might have got all of the ball, because he was going away from goal. You could have argued that, but I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. But the last goal, mate, I feel like he's a good shot stopper, but commanding his box, it's not there. You know what I mean? When you really want him to come and dominate and come and get a collect or punch, he's rooted to the spot. No, I'm not just blaming him because I didn't think Meffin had a good game. Although he busted his nose apparently, but I didn't think Meffin turned up. Part of the game when we got back to 2-1, I thought we were playing shit here, but it's 2-1. And then the thing that annoyed me the most is, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes before the end, we were sitting back, we were giving them space, and I was like, well, we're not even pressing here, we're giving them 5 yards. He had the ball. I thought, let's go and get that and put them under pressure. But no, it was the other way around. Then he takes fucking Wilson off, right, our only outlet, puts Hielder on, who's a waste of a shirt, and gets to a back five. Now, why are we holding out a 2-1 fucking victory against bottom of the fucking league? Why are we not just fucking pressing and going for it? Like, I'd rather do that and fucking draw than just sit and watch them try and defend 2-1. That's not what I want to see. And by the way, the cross that came in at the end, Yeller's just come on the fucking pitch, close him down, get close to him. Why are you watching him put his foot on the ball and sling it in? Fucking get out and get close and tight. There's two of them there. What? You've just come on the fucking pitch. Hands behind the back trying to jockey him. Get out there. Fucking, you know what I mean? Get physical with him.
In his face.
And then push him away from fucking goal. And the ball wouldn't come in. Now, you could, again, going back to Potter, he maybe could have, maybe not, I don't know, but he didn't have a great game. But fucking Meffin was asleep. The people at the back were asleep, whoever was at the back. But we went through a back five to defend a 2-1 win. And we ended up fucking drawing.
So, I know we had Hjelde come on, and Hjelde, for me, the second goal was 90% his fault. He was too far away from the man. It was the cross should never have come in.
Back, you know what I mean?
The cross should never have come in. It was very easy to defend, but I think he was too fresh booted, I guess. A little bit off the pace, and I guess when you come on that late,
how can you be off the pace if you've only been on the pitch for fucking 2 minutes and the rest of them's been on for 88?
That's it.
He is not good enough to play for Sunderland. I'm telling you that. I said that last season. He's not good enough to put that shirt on. You know what? No offense to him, like, but I just don't see it. Like, I don't see it. I feel like, you know, what you could have left Wilson on for fucking 10 minutes and stay the same formation.
Yeah.
I just that baffled me. That's the one that wound me up. Like, look, Regis has been great, but that decision fucking wound me up.
I think with respect to changing the formation, we've seen him try to do that a few times now, and pretty much in all cases it's backfired. Again.
Sorry, I'm just going to say two formations that work: 4-2-3-1 and a 4-4-2. That's all that works for us.
So whenever we've gone 5 at the back, like Alan says, I just immediately invites pressure. We don't have the same outlet. We don't have the same ability to play through the middle anymore. Like, it all falls apart. So for me, I'm not a big fan of 5 at the back.
No,
it doesn't seem to work for us. So let's just keep what we've got: 4-4-2, 4-2-3-1, whatever it is.
I've got one more point, and then I'll let people talk. But it's just because it's fresh in my head. Samed, right? I don't think, like, look, he played 60 whatever it was minutes, and you could argue he was at fault for one of the goals. Was it the first or second? I can't fucking remember. Anyway, he gave the ball away. Mate, he slowed the game down like you wouldn't believe. Like, I was like, why? Every time he got the ball, it was sideways, back. Slow it down. And he's telling, he was doing it with his hands, calm down. I was like, no, we've had fucking Dan Neil, Job, and Rig being fucking busy, right, and getting at people the whole game. Why are we slowing it down? You know what I mean? Plymouth, it played into Plymouth's hands, that. Do you know what I mean? He got took off, and rightly so he got took off because he didn't have a fucking good game. Like, I think that game, why don't we play our best side, right? Because it's Plymouth in the bottom of the league. Now's not the time to experiment. You know what I mean? Just because it's fucking. I think we took them a bit too lightly. I think they must have thought, yeah, he's good enough to fit. No, obviously not. And every game in this fucking league is difficult. It doesn't matter where anyone is. We've seen it. You've got to take every game, and them 2 points. We've dropped so many points this season. Fucking that game, Blackburn, Coventry, Watford. You know what I mean? We're destined for the fucking playoffs if we can't see games out and plan accordingly. You know what I mean? Look, I'm not having a go at Regis, but I just think maybe the whole team took Plymouth a bit too lightly.
I don't think you're wrong, mate. I think the first half, again, I'll gloss over it. We were very, we were giving them the cosh. We were pressing high. They just parked the bus. And I was saying at halftime during that watch along all we need to do is essentially invite them further up the pitch to create those gaps. Now, they scored off a counter-attack, and those gaps then naturally came because they were confident and being pushed further forward because they wanted the second goal. And that's how we got 2 quick-fire goals. They were just a little bit like, oh, well, we've took the lead, we can get another goal. We levelled up pretty much straight away, and then another goal within 5 minutes of that. So that kind of culture shocked them, and they reverted back to that part of the bus. And the way they scored the second one is exactly how they scored the first one. Wait for Sunderland to press so many people forward at the pitch and get it in as fast as possible. It's a very known and it's how we concede. How many have we conceded? 24 goals. It's probably how we conceded 18 of them so far this season.
We've talked about this a lot, haven't we, Smudge, about the inability to when a ball gets lobbed in and dealing with the situation when it's just Jimmy Hill style football.
This was going to be my big point about the second goal is it wasn't just Hjelde. I know Hjelde was the man who was on the closest to the cross coming in the box, but even in the play before that, we had a couple of chances to put our foot on the ball, get rid of it. When he crossed it in, it fucking bounced and landed to the other guy. So there's another opportunity, and then we had like 3 or 4 opportunities to stop that goal from happening. We just didn't fucking do it. Like it was so frustrating to watch. It was like, I think Danny Collins said the same on the stream. He was like, "How many opportunities do we have to clear it there?" And we just didn't do it. Like,
why
need someone to take command and be like, "Put your fucking foot on it," or booted up the pitch. It's the 90th minute. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
Well, so what I will say about the game is like I thought. I'm not going to say I don't think we dominated. I think
No, it was a shit game.
It
I
was a
thought we
shit
played
game.
shite.
It was a funny game. In fact, like I went and made a cup of tea halfway through the first half or whenever it was when they scored their goal. I was out of the room for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and when I came back, it was ones apiece. I was like, "What the fuck's happened here?" So I had to watch their first goal back. I think Pat Ozone. I know Alan, you said that he shouldn't have come off his line or whatever. Like
I'm not saying it was
went
his
off the
fault, but I don't
underside of
think
his leg and deflected just over the line. I think
it is unlucky. I give him that.
It is
But
unlucky.
I just don't think Pat had a good game in general. You know what I mean? Like at the start, when I was watching him, I was like, what? Like he was a couple of times like playing out from the back and that, and he's giving it away. I just don't think. Look, I'm not saying he's going to improve because goalkeepers can last longer, but I just think that part of his game's not great yet. You know, so and dominating the box and that, and being big, and you know, he's a good shot stopper. We know that he's good at reacting, but it's just the whole package is just not there for me.
Okay.
Okay.
So
I also missed our first goal. Sorry, I almost missed our first goal. But what I will say about that, just before we go on to the comments there, what a finish! I really like the finish from Wilson. Like I've said it all season, the guy's a G. Like very composed, got great technique. He's brilliant. And saying that, Hume's goal as well was pretty good. Like his first touch, he came in quite quickly. His first touch, I'm going to say controller because it kind of bounced up, was great. And his second touch was a fucking.
Did Hume get an assist and a goal?
Yeah, Hume was man of the match by a comfortable margin.
The cross for Wilson came in from the right, so there's a high chance later. Yeah, so. Two good goals from us. I thought we were unlucky. Like looking back at the first goal, unlucky, but we should not have conceded that second goal. There was so many things went wrong before. Saying that though, he struck the ball. The guy who scored for them the second goal, he struck it really well. Like it was a fucking rocket. Like
but they had chances in all, mate. I think they hit the post. Did they hit the post twice?
They hit the inside of the post, and it went across the face of goal. So yeah,
mate, we weren't at the races. Mate. And I just think we thought
it wasn't our best performance of the season.
It was fucking shit. We played shit. The only good thing about it is we didn't get beat.
We managed to scrape a draw.
I mean,
everyone else has done well against Plymouth apart from us.
Yeah, I'm just going to. How can I show you this? I'm just going to show you this on the thing, and it's literally just the stats of the season so far, and it's you can see just from the colours alone, like Plymouth are just a weird anomaly. We've struggled against one team every season, and for some reason Plymouth is that team. 1 point against a team that's bottom of the league.
I'm just not a believer in this. It's like juju and teams.
It's not that, mate. It's just I think we've just shown them too much. We've shown them a lot of a lack of respect. And you mentioned it earlier about every team in this league can beat another team.
Right. No, there's no fucking easy games.
When we're coming up against Plymouth, we just seem to go, "Oh, we've got this in the bag." I think it's a little bit of overconfidence for us.
Just looking at that table there that you're showing there, right? We've conceded 5 goals against Plymouth, right? So it was a 2-2 draw, and they beat us 3-2 early in the season. In total, how many goals we conceded?
Sunderland.
Yeah.
24.
24, mate. So that's like 20% of the goals we've conceded this year being against the bottom of the table team. 21%. That's outrageous.
That's grim.
That is grim. I mean,
come on.
I like your stat though.
I mean, Plymouth fans will love that, like, but
yeah, they will.
Grim.
But if you look at
fucking grim stat, that like fucking hell.
But if you look at in theory, obviously on paper, everybody in the bottom half of the table right now, with the exception of Oxford United, we're playing at home. We've got a good running to come up against a lot of these teams. Obviously, you've got Borough next, and then
Okay.
Not a
Leeds
rivalry.
away mid-Feb, a couple of weeks time.
yeah.
That's a big game, massive game. That.
So there is a lot
Well,
of.
I think we turn up against big teams. Like
Yeah,
we
man.
played
Look at
Burnley.
the
I
top.
was like,
Look at
fucking
the top
hell.
of that table there. We've only got beat
You know
off
what I mean?
Sheffield United, and that 1-0 win that Sheffield United got was a fucking travesty. They should have never won that game.
Yeah.
So,
So
like,
let's treat every team the same. You know what I mean? Every game is going to be difficult. You know what I mean? The Borough game, I'm not really too like. I'm not.
are we going into that? Are we going to that rival? Are we going to that rivalry
No,
versus?
it's not that. It's not that. Well, part of it's that, but it's the fact that I'm not really bothered about the team. It's not like I look at Borough and go, do you know what? They're class. They're dominating the league. They're not. No one is. You know what I mean? Obviously, Leeds and are maybe pulling away now, but I've never looked at a team this season and went, bar Leeds, and went, you know what? They're off. They're good. Leeds are the only team I thought, fucking hell, they've got some good, like, Nonto and that. And James, they've got some decent players in it. And tactically very astute. Every other team I've looked at, I said, we've had chances against them and we could fucking beat them. You know what I mean? I think everyone else in the league thinks that about their own team.
I think, again, and I'm going to just call out as well, because I think, obviously, Plymouth's a good example of it, but when we turn up with the attitude that we're going to smash the team, Stoke, it just doesn't happen. So I think, like you said, show a bit more respect. Even in those bigger games, I think we can beat everybody in this league. Everybody that we've got coming up against. It's how we actually just put that plan into action. Like, I want to see at the end of February, we need to be a couple of points clear.
Leeds. If we get 6 points against Borough and Leeds, that puts us in a real strong position.
Well, it means Leeds have dropped points as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, Sheffield United dropped points. The fucking Burnley and Leeds.
Sheffield United and Burnley, they drop points. The teams around us drop points. The only reason we're not sitting pretty right now is because we're also dropping points.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's the ultimate statement from last weekend. It's a missed opportunity to leapfrog them, because both Leeds and Burnley drew 0-0. Again, the most boring game of football in the world, isn't that right, Paul?
Yes. I actually fell asleep watching that game, to be honest.
It wasn't a nice game of football. We've got. What was it? Leeds United lost, didn't? No. Sheffield United lost against. Was it West Brom? Who did they play? But I know they lost. Hull City. Hull City 3-0.
Oh yeah, Sheffield United. Yeah, will beat Hull City.
So, again, on paper, going into that game, they showed no respect to the opposition, and I don't know. Anybody could beat anybody.
West Brom fucking give Portsmouth the sword. Is that right? 5-0 maybe, was that right? West Brom? They're in the playoffs?
Yep, yes. Yeah, that's it.
Tony Mowbray West Brom.
The Tony Mowbray effect. That could come and bite us in the arse, I guess.
I mean, I hope not for our sake, but I'd quite like to see. Quite like to see him do well.
Yeah, I guess, but not against us.
Not against us. Yeah, if they finish in the playoffs, I don't want them. I don't want them in the 2-leg thing. I'd rather have them.
Yeah, that will. You know for a fact that feels destined to happen now, doesn't it? We don't finish
we're destined for the playoffs. I just feel it in my bones, mate. We've had plenty of opportunities to get, push on and get an automatics, and we haven't.
I was saying this about Ipswich last season. I thought they were destined for the playoffs, and they went up second place. So.
Yeah, but they had an amazing run, and they won 11 in a row, didn't they? At the back end of the season or something like that. They had a crackers run, like an all-time run.
Yeah, I'm just.
Let's hope we can do something similar, right?
Fingers crossed, mate. Like it starts on Tuesday night. Is it Tuesday night for you? Again, on Monday night.
Monday night, mate. Yeah.
It starts against Middlesbrough. I'm going to say it again. It's a local derby, not a rivalry. People get the semantics of that wrong. Rivalry is a team you hate with a passion. A derby is based on proximity. So it's the T's we derby. And I am going to say, for my prediction, a very cagey 2-1 win. I'm thinking maybe...
Tell me more.
I'm thinking maybe well, you got to go for a Wilson Isidore goal, haven't you? But I think the second might come from Lafay, just breaking into the box and having a pop shot on the edge of the D or something like that, because it kind of feels like he's due it.
Yeah, well, he did have a good. To be fair, Lafay, he had a good first half against Plymouth. He went missing a bit the second half. Yeah, he went missing a bit the second half, but first 45 was decent, like.
He's very impressive down the left wing, breaking past their right back. Like, every time he wanted to, he got past him.
I think I said this on the stream. I think he's like, he probably thinks that he's better than the standard he's playing at. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's going to want to, like, I don't know, show off a little bit. Do you know, like, show what he's made of? Like,
as long as he doesn't do it like Richard Robertson tried to break past 5 people and then lose the ball every time.
That's not.
Well, I think Roberts had a stinker against Plymouth, and he was another one who didn't play well against Plymouth.
I can't remember a single thing he did.
I'm a big advocate for him, but he just didn't have a good game.
I feel with Lafay, like, once he gets one, like maybe gets like an assist or whatever, like he'll start a roll, like he'll start to go. It was the same with Isidore, wasn't it? He gets one and he goes. I feel like he's that sort of player. I hope you're right, mate. I hope you're right.
So I just want to call out as well just a little bit of the misery against Plymouth. Mueller says Plymouth had only scored 3 goals away from home all season before they played us.
Typical on that, isn't it?
Yeah. And they'll probably lose every game now, won't they? They'll probably lose from now to end of season.
Probably.
Everyone else will beat them.
It wouldn't be sullen if we didn't do so much stupid. You know what I mean? It's just... I want to be positive and say, look, it's football's football. And let's come back to the dark days of fucking Parkinson and fucking League One and Greg.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We've moved on from there, so we've just got to take these little sort of hiccups.
I think the good times are coming back, though. I think it's just slowly, you know. But yeah, like League One days are over, which is good. Especially fucking Parkinson, couldn't stand him. Shite, honestly. The most stubborn manager you'd ever met. So stubborn.
Yeah. I just excuse me. I just popped up here. Speakman's talking about Adil Oshisha's exit and what's going on. It's pretty much exactly what we said. So there's no purchase clause, so he doesn't have to be bought. There's no option to buy or whatever like that. Speakman said, Adil has worked hard and played his part when called upon and has been a great teammate, but competition within our squad is extremely high and his opportunities will be limited as a result. So there you go, exactly what we just said.
As you said out about Akpom, because that's them fucking...
He's not coming, he's Akpom.
I don't think he's
not. I think you'd rather...
Akpom's close to the club that Will Still's at.
Oh, is that Lens?
Is it? That's the
Lens or whatever.
Now that we're actually talking about inbounds and outbounds, then Tom's asked any news on incoming lads. I see Dill left on loan to Pompey. Wish he went elsewhere. Then that
Rushin's gone.
Rushin has gone.
I mean,
yeah, Rushin went to Hadu split, didn't he?
Yeah, he went to Croatian side, didn't he? I think it was split, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I thought it was Greek. No,
I want Greek.
No, Croatia.
Paul, did you say they've got the option to buy on him as well?
Yeah, they have at the end of his loan, if he does well.
It's a bit sad, though, isn't it? Didn't he have a kid when he was here?
Oh, Rushin.
Rushin, yeah.
No, I don't think Rushin.
Well, we could say that. Last from Southwick.
Fucking hell, Jesus Christ. No, we're not going there. We're not going there.
He's got a... got a house in Suddick near the Green.
What's the pub on Suddick Green called? Like is it the Tram Inn?
The tram car.
Something like that. Tram car, something like that. Yeah. Been in there, Alan. I bet you've been in there before.
Of course, I've been in there. I used to know who lived above it.
Oh yeah.
I won't mention his last name. His first name was Derek or Der.
Big Derek.
Big Der.
I've been in that place exactly once.
I've been in there a couple of times back in the day. Like, I mean, it was rough.
Yeah,
but,
man.
Big shout out to Southwood Green. One to the podcast.
Yeah. You used to have a bingo hall.
Doesn't anymore. Local Council. Is this still a massive like food works or whatever it was called?
No, mate. It used to be.
It used to be. Was it? It used to be a red and white. Like I'm pretty sure it was Food Works or Iceland.
Nah, it was
Where at?
No,
Southwick in Hogan's.
Southwick Green, mate.
Fine fair.
What was it? I feel like it was something giant.
What a shop.
Oh, it's B&M Home now. It's B&M Home now.
Well, you know more about Southwick Green than me.
Wow. Green Giant.
Food Giant, man.
Food Giant, there, yeah, that's it, thanks.
My dad used to be a food giant there, mate. Team at Hogan's. So, yeah, I know quite
well. I used to live in James Armitage Street, which is where Andrew used to live. My sister's house. So when my sister moved out, I rented it and I lived in James Armitage Street. And I used to go to the Green shop.
Yeah. I bet you that was experience there.
The Greg's, man.
Oh, of course it was. I remember one day, like, this was when Jake was
Heron Foods.
We went out in the backyard and there was a car on fire.
But didn't that
in the back
no one cared.
But didn't that massive building, wasn't it like a bingo hall that burnt up as well?
Yeah, mate, I just said
the Mecca.
Bingo hall got burnt, insurance job. Bingo hall got burnt down.
I remember
he got done as well, apparently.
Station taxis was across the road, wasn't it?
Mate, Southwick Green is
They had a food giant, yeah.
Yeah, food giant, man. I remember the food giant being there when I was a band, like. Now it's Heron Foods, Greg's, and a betting shop.
Right, of course, it's got a Greg's. It's got a big Greg's.
Yeah, biggest Greg's. Coral on the corner. Probably a charity shop in there as well, right?
I think they're next to go though, Bucky's, aren't they? Because everyone fucking does it online.
Yeah, I think this
the Coral's Bucky's just an offshoot of the Old People's Home.
Yeah, well, that is what I'm about to say, right? Like, there's a certain like clientele who will still like take themselves off to sit in a Coral for like a few hours to watch the racing and that. I don't think anyone under the age of 60 does that. Like,
nah, we've got on a massive tangent here about Southwick Green.
I like it though; it's good. It's reminiscent. It's not quite the Darwin Harbour like, but
mate, it looks a bit better than Southwick Green out there, lad.
There's no point.
Well, it's next to the water. If you want to make a comparison.
Is there any hypodermics on the floor, lad?
Probably. Drinking and a drug issue with every city and town, isn't there? But not as bad as Southwick Green.
I think look. I'm not saying there's a bit of plagiarism in the podcasty world, but there's certain podcasts that were nicking now with Jackie Whiteside. I don't know if you've seen that.
Oh, I've seen it. Even Nick Barnes. I'm blaming Paul. I'm blaming Paul for this.
I'm all for like Southern podcasts, but get your own crack, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Come up with your own content.
I reckon Southern Green's going to be on it next. Like,
yeah, that'll be next, mate. It'll be
Southern Green will be on there.
Picture of that geezer on the Senate top
next. What should the Bris actually do? Visit Southwick.
Do you know what's the bridge that's in Southwick? But like
Queen
Alex.
Yeah, you see, you've got under Queen Alex, you've got like a load of industrial things, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, there's a pub down there.
Yeah, I used to play footy down there.
Did you?
Yeah, just on
the got married down there.
Did he?
Yeah, mate.
Nice.
I mean, it's on the other side, not the Southwick side, like the other side, but pretty much. You could see it from like if you went down, where the Alex is from Southwick, you can just look over the river. It's there. What was the place called? The Rowberry.
Oh, so you,
Yeah, that's the other side. That's the other side of the water. The
That's what I'm
Rotary,
saying.
that's
So it's like the other.
Deptford.
Yeah. So it's on the other side of the river, but it's like, directly opposite Southwick.
Oh, that's funny.
Shout out Crouchy.
Shout out Crouchy, periodic guest on the poddy as well. I haven't got your predictions for the game. I've done mine 2-1.
Because we went on a fucking mega tangent, lad. Like
time's
unexpected
That's what it's
discussion.
I want you to commit to something.
I'm committing to a 1-1 draw. I think Wilson will score though, because I think he's mint.
Okay.
And Luke 09 own goal.
Of course.
He loves an own goal.
Go on,
Paul.
Paul.
3-1.
Who?
Sunderland, of course.
I mean, I like your confidence.
Bold
Go on.
statement, that, Paul.
Do you know?
I know.
I'm going to say something a little bit naive here, but I genuinely cannot name a single Borough player. Like
Ireland?
You were Downing.
What, the current?
The current. I know they've got Carrick in charge still, haven't they? But other than that,
Luke Ireland's there. And I think there was a clip of him last week being really crap, so I hope he's playing.
Whittaker could probably play on Sunday. Whittaker could probably play on Monday.
Whittaker.
He's at Middlesbrough now.
Who's the top? The coffee man.
Look
is
it up now, mate.
The coffee man.
Latte
The coffee man is that. Yeah. Latte laugh.
Is he not going?
I
thought someone would put a bin for him.
I forgot he even existed.
Morgan Whittaker.
Oh yeah, that was it. They bought Whittaker from Plymouth. Plymouth are going down. Plymouth are preparing themselves to get the drop back to League One with that.
Fucking Lath will be up front one there. Just don't look at some stats, see if I can find. Top scorer is Lath with 11. They've still got that Azaz, or Aziz. He scored against the last season, didn't he? A couple of times.
Yeah. He's not all that him, like.
I'm so.
He's got 8 goals and 9 assists this season, like. He's the top contributor.
I've seen him, and I don't think he's better than what we've got, like. Nah.
Okay.
It is Greenwood with the teeth. The Makamu I don't really like.
He's a pressure now.
He's on. I can see him on this game, so I know like he was at Borough last season, or have you? But I just really don't like him. Just something about him.
Yeah, he looks like he's been on the sunbeds and been to Turkey for his teeth.
I reckon him and James McLennan are in the same group chat.
He must get bullied in the changing room, lad. I'm telling you. Someone walked into my gaff with like that sort of
turkey
tan in the teeth. I'd fucking absolutely rip them.
The same complexion as the pepperami.
Yeah.
I'd fucking rip them from the moment they walked in and the moment they walked out.
I'm going to go with 1-0.
Okay.
Rig.
Ooh.
See what I've done there? 1-0 Rig. That's what it was last time, wasn't it? Same score. Same scorer.
Yeah, so, you had to explain yourself.
I thought you might have cottoned on, but yeah, all right, that's what I'm doing.
It's 6 o'clock in the morning. Or 7 now.
Was that the Buckale goal? Was that one?
It was, yeah. It was that goal.
Yeah, all right.
And finally, Jacob, what are you going for?
I'm saying the same as you. I'm for 2-1 Sunderland.
Goal scorers? Any ideas?
I think I might go for Bellingham, and I'm going to go for Enzo. I'd like to see Enzo get his first goal.
Nice.
Enzo.
I'm on that Enzo Luffy getting his...
And I think Bellingham should take penalties in the future. Bellingham should take penalties, by the way, in the future.
I agree.
Shouldn't be Wilson taking penalties. Bellingham should take them.
I'm on board with that, lad.
And Enzo. Let Enzo maybe take a pen.
But I'm a believer in if you miss, then you're off them, like, you know.
Especially if missed two
That's
in
it
a
now.
row. Let's not stab an open wound on Wilson.
He's bounced back from that well, though. He scored a perfectly
yeah.
legitimate goal in the
Yeah.
following game. He
Yeah.
scored again last week. So
But he doesn't
Oh,
score
yeah.
shit goals. You know what I mean? Doesn't score shit goals,
No,
Wilson.
but even after the 2 penalties, I wasn't raging at Wilson. I wasn't thinking, "Oh, you
Nah,
bastard." I was just, I was just like,
I was just angry
oh,
that it was a miss.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. If Leeds United wouldn't have done that, would they? Leeds would have buried them 2 penalties. Or Sheffield United.
Enzo should have took the second penalty.
Enzo wasn't there then.
No, he was. He were on the pitch, weren't they, against Burnley?
He was on the pitch.
Bellingham has taken 3 penalties and missed every one of them, says Bong. But also he says 1-0 rig for him as well. So Bellingham's missed 3 out of 3 penalties. Bong.
yeah. We might as well just get fucking Trey Hume to take the penalty. You know what I mean?
Luke
I bet he
O'Neill.
won't miss.
I reckon Luke O'Neill will just
Get Mike Dodds to take the penalty.
I feel like we need to get Bong on the on the cast. Like I feel like
Get him in.
he's done that right.
Bing bong, yeah.
Yeah, as a guest.
He knows what to do. Download Discord and add me. And for the Mac. It's a difficult username to find.
This week's guest listener is Bong.
Me, the proper Macam.
I think that's it. We have. Do we have 2 games coming up this weekend? Or is it just the one?
Nah, just the one.
Monday night. It's on ITV. So.
On ITV is mad, by the way. Like,
yeah, no, it's a bit weird.
Who made that decision? But okay, I'll take it.
Fair enough.
So in terms of like when we're doing content next on the channel, I'll do the watch along before work on Tuesday morning, a podcast Saturday morning here, so Friday night for you guys, and then Saturday night for the Watford game.
Watford game is 12:30 kick off, mate.
Yeah, so add 9.5 hours. I think it's 11 p.m. 10, 11 p.m.
That's not too bad for you, mate.
It's respectable for once.
You can manage that.
Aidan McGeady is actually at the Watford game.
Aidan McGeady.
Because John O'Shea was at the Plymouth game.
He was.
John O'Shea, to be sure.
He got a round of applause.
Did he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Fair
He
enough.
came on to do the raffle.
I mean, he was all-time leading appearances, wasn't he? Till 09's just beat him. Is that right?
I didn't know.
I don't know, but I would believe that.
I think he was. He was all-time leader at the Stadium of Light, and then 09's
What
beat
I'd say
him.
about John O'Shea is obviously a great player.
Yeah.
Done a lot of Man United.
Circle of Arctic.
Yeah, one of the slowest players I've ever seen on a football pitch ever.
But he could read the game.
But he could read the game so well he didn't need to be fast.
Yeah.
Loved the big header.
Mm.
Good player.
Do you class with that stat, Alan? Are you counting players that were in Roker Park and then
No.
the Stadium of Light?
Just Stadium of Light appearances.
Because
I'm sure it was O'Shea, and then 09 overtook him.
Yes, because I'm just looking
What about
at the stats.
Cattermole must have been up there.
Michael Gray is
probably.
410.
Mickey Gray.
But he doesn't have 410 at the Stadium of Light. Oh.
How many Cattermole got, lad? Cattermole must be up there.
I think Cattermole was like third.
Cattermole 258.
Oh, fucking hell.
2009 and 2019.
Is Luke number 1?
Luke's not showing.
He must be number 1. I'm sure someone said he was number 1 now.
I don't think he's showing on this list.
I mean, how long has he been with us? 5 years? 6 years?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, John O'Shea.
Played a lot of games in that time, like.
Well, John O'Shea has the most Premier League appearances at the Stadium Light as well. Mickey Gray's on 170. Cattermole's on 169. Kevin Phillips is on 139.
Oh, this is just Premier League, right? So
Yeah, just Premier League. Yeah.
outside of the Premier, yeah, it must be 09, man. Oh, wait, he's been here for fucking
Must be
ages. We
09.
play 70 games a season or something.
We do not.
It
We
wa-
do. Yeah, we do play quite a bit.
All right, then.
For some reason,
Uh,
sorry, I'm just going to say that the stat on this page only goes to Dean Whitehead.
Dean Whitehead.
Dean Whitehead,
2007, mate.
Right.
2007.
Doesn't he? He's
Should
on
we-
the Stoke fucking coaching staff, isn't he?
he is, mate. Right. I'll tell you a bit about Dean Whitehead, right? Probably
He's got a massive blockhead.
big square head,
Square head.
right?
Yeah.
Big
Minecraft
square
head.
head. Took the worst penalty I've ever seen any player take in a Sunderland shirt. The old Dean Whitehead penalty pass. He just fucking trickled the ball towards the keeper. He just fucking scooped it up. Didn't even have to move.
I
I
mean,
can't remember what year that was.
I mean, we've
I mean,
had some
I've seen
terrible
Mickey
set
Gray.
piece specialists. Like,
Mate, Dean Whitehead was bad. Like he
I've
was
seen
captain
Mickey
as
Gray.
well, wasn't he? He was fucking. He was
He was,
captain. He was fucking terrible. Terrible player.
singing his
the
praises.
worst pen I've seen is Michael Gray, Wembley, 98. Shite pen.
Right. Okay.
Bad times. Long drive home.
Good memories.
Dean Whitehead left Stoke in January. This month. He's not at Stoke now.
He's
Oh.
not. No.
Is he?
Poor old
Has he
Dean.
got a manager job somewhere?
I'll give him a job. We will give him a job.
Would we?
Penalty penalty specialist.
Sort out the goals for training.
What was it? Oh, the EFL Player of the Month, by the way, is Joe Bellingham. Just so you're aware.
Congratulations.
I mean, I wouldn't disagree. He's
I
been
think he's
good.
got a lot going for him.
Yeah. I've heard fucking Leverkusen and Dortmund have been sniffing.
I heard Crouchy texted today saying Brighton are in for Tommy Watson.
I mean, that's a bit left field, that, like, because he's injured.
We did discuss it earlier on, like, so.
Oh, do we? All right.
No, go for it. Go for it. It was £2 million on a purchase. That was
2 million quid is is like Jack Clark levels of travesty, by the way, in terms of money. But
what do you mean?
2 million.
I think that's fair for an 18-year-old who's played for like.
No, it's not. No.
So what would you fucking value Rig at?
Rig
He was younger.
Rig. It doesn't matter about age for him. It's about game time. So for Rig, I put probably around 17.
I was going to say between 15 and 20, like, so, you know.
I'd bump it up to 20, like.
Whatever his age
Squeeze
is,
that
just
extra
put his age and then just put an M at the end of it. There you go.
And if we sell Watson for 2 million quid, they want fucking shooting a lot of them.
Nah, that's madness.
That is a fucking travesty, mate. The guy's obviously progressing. He's obviously doing well.
Yeah, I don't think he will. I think that's just fucking. I think that's just hot air, like.
I think the best thing for him is to get more game time though, because he's not going to compete against Mundo.
He was starting games before he was injured. Like, what more can you want?
He was third string choice though, behind two other players that became injured. So.
Yeah, but like he came into that team, began to start games, and I remember I sat on here and said he shouldn't be starting. He's fucking crap. And then he started playing really well.
Yeah.
And then he got injured.
I'll hold my hand up. I did say he needs more time in the 21s or the benches. But
yeah,
he had two really good games. But yeah, I feel like that's 2 million for an 18-year-old who's injured and it wasn't really set the championship on fire. He's had a couple of good games. You know, I mean, I don't feel like he won't go. It's just fucking hot air. He won't go.
Just reading it here. According to what's it called, that Fabrizio Romano guy, Brighton have apparently put a bid in.
A bid?
Yeah, that they're talking to the club.
Oh, I'd be like fucking jog on.
Made an initial bid.
But our academy, right? I'm not just saying this, but I feel like our academy is probably up there as one of the top in the country. Like, you know, I feel like we push out a lot of players. I'm not saying like not everyone's a Pickford or a Henderson who are going to go on to Prem and win stuff, but we have got a good sort of machine going there. If obviously the North East have got a lot of lads who want to play football, but I think the academy does a good job. You know what I mean? That's testament. If someone's bidding $2 million for fucking, that's just testament to the academy's work. Like so, but I feel like you shouldn't be going anywhere. Like not. And he's injured.
He's got 18 months in his contract, so
yeah,
like you
that's
said.
what I was going to say. Right, he's got a year and a half of the contract, so there's absolutely no reason for us to accept anything. We just say no and discuss it again in the summer. No reason for us to do anything. Also, you want to look at Jack Clark. The grass isn't always greener, mate. So,
well, the thing is, didn't Brighton come in for Watson in the summer and we turned it down? I'm sure they came in on deadline day for him.
I don't remember.
The club turned it straight down.
It depends on what the offer was, mate. But I mean, again,
someone at Brighton's obviously keen on the guy. You know, I'll tell you what I will say though is Brighton are usually really good at like bringing players through, developing them, and selling them on for mega bucks.
So
Same
again,
with Brentford.
Yep. You got to look at. I think Brentford's going to have an issue.
You got to look at Ivan Toney.
Stick.
Duran, by the way, gone to Saudi is mental.
Oh, but 60 million or something, right? 50-something million.
That's mental, mate. Like he's 21, isn't he?
Yeah, man.
Okay, 21.
What the fuck? What's he doing?
The thing is, though, right? I know we're going off on a tangent here, right?
Massive one.
He's never going to start ahead of Watkins, right? Unless Watkins leaves.
He has been, hasn't he? He has been starting ahead of Watkins.
Once or twice. Maybe when Watkins had a nickel.
Why the fuck would you want to leave?
Surely what you do if you're Duran, you're like, it looks like Arsenal are going to fucking buy Watkins here. If I just stay for another fucking... Yeah, just hold on for a little longer. But he's seen the fucking bright lights and the dollar signs and off he goes.
Yeah, like they're in the Champions League, you know what I mean, and they're going well, and they're still in the FA Cup and that. So, and
I don't know why they're selling them.
I don't know why they're on the league, but why the fuck would you want to go into Saudi? Is 50 grand a week not enough? Do you know what I mean? What do you do with all this fucking money? Not if you can get 200
grand a week tax free.
Right, yeah, I get the tax free bit, like, but you know what I mean. He's 21. He's got a long career. How much money do you fucking want? Do you know what I mean? And for the standard of football, look at what's going on with Neymar. He's fucking, how many times he played? I think they worked it out at like 3 million a game or whatever it is, and he scored like 1 goal. Like it's just fucking mental. The standard ain't good, and people are going over there just to get some money,
get paid,
and fuck off. I mean, I think Gerrard's left, hasn't he? Obviously, Bale's fucking hanging out the back of his arse, really left with him. You know what I mean? And Henderson obviously left. You're going over there to fucking football death sentence. Like, I just think whoever's advising you, get rid of them.
That's it, in the off season. Like, I feel like if you're N'Golo Kante, who's like won the Champions League, the Premier League, the FA Cup, fucking African Cup of Nations, he's won everything, right? He's got nothing to prove. He can go to Saudi and take that fucking 300 grand a week. Happily. Yeah. I have nothing against that. But if you're John Duran and you're 21-year-old and you go in there, having won nothing, scored a couple of goals off the bench of a Villa, you want to take a serious look at yourself.
Why not go to... I don't see... Why not go to, like, the Greek league or Turkish league? That's better than fucking Saudi.
The standard's better. You get about a tenth of the pay.
Yeah. If I was going to go for money and lifestyle, I'd probably go fucking MLS, not the fucking, not the Saudi league.
No, MLS ain't too bad, to be fair, is it? Like that, a lot of players have done that to end their career. I think Rooney went there, didn't he? I think that was the last.
Messi, Suarez, fucking what's his face, slow Spanish tall dude.
Kaká.
The renter.
Yeah.
Kaká. Neymar's gone back to Brazil, says Muller. So that's already done and dusted. When Marcus Tell was worth 5 million, they were asking for 10. I told Dodds when Mowbray was here to watch him. Now Spurs have offered him 50 million.
Offered him 50 million.
Marcus Tell.
All right.
Really.
But the only reason he's unsettled at buying, though, isn't he? So that's the only reason that's happening.
It's just stupid money for an average. To be fair, he's above average. Obviously, he's above average, but that's
Is he?
ridiculous.
Did you hear? I've never heard of the guy before. I've heard. There's been no big conversation about him until this week. Do you know what I mean?
I don't even know.
He's just
Really on about.
exactly.
Think of him like El Strawberry.
All right.
He's a flash in the pan kind of player. He is a good player. He is really good, but 50 million stupid. He's weighing. Anyways.
Yeah.
It's actually 2-1 Blackburn, I've just seen, by the way.
Yeah, I'm just watching it on the side as well. They've been Preston have been clamouring for 2 penalties now, and all the players are just rushing the referee. Every one of them should get a yellow card for that.
Excuse me. Blackburn have lost the last 3 games.
Well, they haven't this one. They've won 2-1. Danny Bart.
They've won 2-1. Is it game over? Is it?
Game's over. 99
There's 90
minutes.
plus 9 here, mate.
Yeah.
90 plus 9. Danny Bath scored.
No, Danny Bath and Gay were defending for Blackburn. It was supposed to be 6 minutes out of time, and it was 99. Yeah.
All right. Well, it's a
There you
great
go.
catch up, lads. It's
It
been
was.
too long since we've done this. Let's do it again next week,
Yeah.
Smitty.
And I'll actually
Yeah,
do it at
lovely
6:30 this time. I'll do
It was
it
the
at
right time
6:30
next time.
I mean, mate,
Yeah,
if you want to do it at 5:30 in the morning, mate, I'm fine with that. I can do it at 8 o'clock. That's no dramas.
I'm
But
a
just let me
night
know,
owl,
right?
not an early bird. I'd much rather be staying
Yeah,
up to
mate.
do it than
I'm the same as you, mate.
I hate the mornings.
Look, mate. Look outside your window. Turn around. Look outside the window. Oh, that looks beautiful, mate. Get yourself out there. Go.
Andrew,
have a stroll. Buy a
before
coffee.
before we go, I think me and Dave are gonna have a go at zombies.
Oh yeah, right now.
Yeah.
Shout out
Well,
Call
right
of
then.
Duty,
I
sponsor
see
the
if Davey's on
podcast.
Yeah.
Aye.
If you work for Activision, sponsor the
Tony's being
podcast.
sponsor, right? Yeah. I'll see you
See you
later.
All right,
next week.
give us 5 minutes. Bye, lads. It's been a
All right.
pleasure.
Been real.